And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to, what are we, part 26 of Sonadow Play the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Trilogy. Joining me, as per usual, is my lovely girlfriend, IMShadow 007. Say hello, hon.
Hello!
Okay, and I think this is the last part of Case 4, if memory serves me.
Yes, and funny thing, Wolf Girl, in Japan there are 3 judges. So
Yeah.
Thunder Titan isn't wrong, because yeah, in Japan there are 3 judges and 6 jurors.
Yeah, Japan has a very strange justice system, it has to be said.
Though I do like the idea of 3 judges.
Yeah, I suppose there's more than just one opinion.
Yeah.
Wait, where's the judge?
All rise. Now sit on it. Hello?
I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck or something.
Oh, the bomb threat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? There are no more bombs, I promise.
Oh yes, my apologies. I'm still a little jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. And then Mr. Tenate self-destructed.
I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tenate.
Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tenate's actions. So you and Mr. Wright will be taking up the defense? Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far?
Yes, Your Honor. The defense is ready.
Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? I take you'd like me to give the opening statement this time?
Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader.
Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors, ain't that the fucking truth? You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts.
Let's see. In the previous part of the trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1, carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The 2 astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And how could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point?
Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct.
So that means the testimonies of the first 2 people on the scene are suspect.
There are 2 people who claim to be the first on the scene. But can we truly trust their statements?
Let's see. The 2 people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police?
Yes, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold.
That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm.
He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw.
Exactly.
In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues there was a 3rd person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man. Or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already, old man?
Objection!
We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene.
They saw a third person?
I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right, I almost forgot Aura's Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. Yeah, we could tell. No matter, she didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have. Of course you have. For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat One and...
Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony?
Haha! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epical, never heard that word before, epical testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell just now. It sounded more like to me he was poking fun at Director Cosmos.
It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head.
Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please.
I can totally see Clancy Brown voicing Yuri Cosmos.
I can see that too.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Tehran lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So in your testimony you claim... You arrived at the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed... Oh, the horror, the humanity! But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs!
What a ham.
Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men.
Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away.
Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I do anything else.
Press on the fourth statement.
Hold it!
Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly.
The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time.
But other than that, I could see little else.
That's why I could see Tehran, but I couldn't see who the other person was. So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who is capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Tehran were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene?
Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what escape route could this person have used?
The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof?
Well...
If we're just taking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and a lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done.
In the name of the moon, I will punish you!
Yep, caught that immediately.
Yep.
But I say, where's your proof of this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss.
And he's right. I don't have any proof yet. Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes?
Why did you look away from the boarding lounge?
Ha! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun?
I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then... she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony.
This is new.
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure.
Present the bullet hole!
Objection!
Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing?
You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books?
Somehow I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books.
Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand?
You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene.
What?
Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirmed the 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? That pesky bird. You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun. Yes, remembering this game is actually set in Japan, so the police have revolvers. 38 revolvers, to be precise.
Yes.
What?
Thank you.
That face.
I know.
The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that this bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Thank you.
Rifling marks? They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us that the gun it was fired from?
One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms that the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone.
So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I better update the record. Thank you.
Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all your questions?
Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene?
No.
No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. A piece that points to the existence of a third person.
Oh? Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
The .10 caliber bullet.
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Oh my god, Judge.
Oh my god.
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor.
You found it where?
In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a .10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than the one in Detective Arm's .38 calibers.
Then that means...
Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire .10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. Wait, what's this now?
How short is that guy?
I know, right?
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish old geezer.
So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along? Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. Yeah, Yarl, one thing you need to get used to with the series is that every witness seems to commit perjury.
Oh yeah.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom, you're just another witness. You won't receive a special treatment here. Now please give accurate testimony.
Hell, in the first trilogy, Edward committed many times of perjury.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and Terran on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant?
Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock. Whoop.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one, and it's you who is cut down. Huh? Your reasoning could apply if Space Boy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
And no one bothered to check the chute.
Yeah, right?
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Ah! I did forget all about that! Look, your baldness. How deliciously obvious is it that they lack the evidence to rival mine?
Wow, he smashed our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us. Just like that.
Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. So does that mean you're a... Does that mean you're a ghost? I was wondering when you would realize that your baldness...
Judge, bless your heart. And yes, I'm saying bless your heart the way how they say in the South, because in the South, bless your heart means fuck you.
Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls.
Objection! Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman.
Your baldness, it was all in jest. Please show yourself again.
Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos?
Well, not all shots are fatal, Judge.
I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What?
Or you could have just said it hit you in the arm or something,
Right.
You know?
Right, yeah, right.
Then again, there would have been blood at the scene otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable.
I had to check this out. Oh wow, look at that! There's one extra Gaiaxa star.
The odds are literally astronomical. I guess it really was a miracle.
It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding? Something tells me he was blackmailed or bribed.
Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out.
Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Present the bullet on the third statement.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie.
A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history?
My accusation is based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here.
In the vent.
Oh!
This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at?
Jane, stop this crazy thing!
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
It's a
Objection!
merry-go-round and around and around.
Great song.
Yes.
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain this inconsistency?
Of course.
I didn't think so. What?
Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right?
What are you getting at?
Use your own brain. Your head must have some other use than housing that bird's nest.
Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair?
It's called main character syndrome in anime, Phoenix. Spot the main character by looking. It's like, hey guys, can you spot the main character? Look at their hairstyle.
Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south.
Ah! That makes some sense, actually.
Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution.
Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this.
How about it, Director? If you don't tell me the truth this time... Yikes! His handcuffs! You will become rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. All right, I'll tell you the truth. Just put your sword away. You're correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door.
Wait, what? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far!
And now you've lost your possibility that a third person was in the room.
I have? How?
The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one.
My third person just disappeared, like in one of Trucy's magic tricks.
Order! Order in the court! Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie?
You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right?
Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door.
It would have meant there could have been a third person.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant?
It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled.
No!
It's over.
Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think! This is just the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Wait! What if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, then they would be the third person.
The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict.
Objection!
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility.
Oh? This had better be good, Mr. Wright.
There's one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then, upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them.
Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge?
Yuri Cosmos!
Take that!
Wait, but that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
Of all people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Director Yuri Cosmos!
What?
What?
Order! Order in the court, I say! Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived at the scene before Detective Arm, and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! It's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir! A magnificent shot!
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship! Prepare to intercept!
Cosmos, you have told a lie in this courtroom once again!
I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy has called in reinforcements!
Earth to Cosmos Control Center. Requesting permission to ask you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence!
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is a third person or a Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun, and in return the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. This mystery person fired upon us.
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that you would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge.
Brace for further impact!
Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge.
The bullet from Arm's gun.
Take that!
The .38 caliber found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank. It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have that ricochet mark on the metal analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you're the third person we've been looking for.
The bridge is destroyed! Losing altitude! All hands abandon ship!
This is ground control! Calling Major Tom!
If that's true, I think we're all on laughing gas here at the craziness of this. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank?
It was the 10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director?
No, you've got it all wrong! What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet! Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth!
If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a great liar,
then accept your fate and tell the truth!
Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? But the cosmos revolves around me! Someone get me off of this! Get me off of this thing!
Jane, stop this crazy thing!
Order! Order in the court! And will someone please stop the witness from spitting before he pukes? Phew, thank goodness we were able to stop him from spitting off the face of the earth.
while he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark on the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Yeah, I thought it looked too big. Have you ever seen the size of like a 10 caliber or a 22 round? They're tiny.
Yeah, right.
Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No, you've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding.
Is it going to start piling on more lies?
Probably. It looks like it. And no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth.
We're still going. It's not over yet, folks.
Yeah, we ain't stopping here. It's only been 40 minutes.
Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were the third person. Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
So this great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try and talk your way out of this.
Fine, I'll tell you the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It is true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I went past the elevators and all the way around the boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene.
What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see.
So then,
are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you.
No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him and take the fall. Leave him to take the fall, rather.
That's an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense that he told those lies to cover Mr. Starbuck.
Still, a lie's a lie, Athena.
So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi.
Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and?
Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me.
The director is not fitting to the court, for once. I confirmed that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m.? And that you arrived at the lounge after that?
Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an Earthling.
As long as he has an alibi. We can't very well claim that Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't. And again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. Oh, this again? As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door and well, the Launchpad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot by the killer as well, and then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body.
Sounds like something Cell would say.
Right.
Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank.
I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal.
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember?
Right. What a mess this thing is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him.
Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it.
And then the killer disappeared, and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too.
Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest, and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from the scene and had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle of the ages, indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be loaded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand.
Well, that might be the first true statement he's said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly?
Simple, because it was Spaceboy himself.
When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter-evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room.
That wasn't exactly helpful.
I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono?
I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up.
Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help?
Huh?
While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord.
Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This just might help us find what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him.
You got it, boss! I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into his great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me! No.
Those emotions are pretty accurate.
Nope. No. Pinpoint the surprise. Why isn't he surprised? Dude, you should be surprised!
You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air.
I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually.
And yet at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence.
What? Why are you...
I can only think of one person as one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went, isn't that right?
Wuxi, to explain Athena's gimmick, that's a mood matrix. Athena can hear the feelings of someone's testimony based on the sound of their voice. It's the gimmick of this game, you know, with Phoenix's Magatama, Apollo's bracelet for his perceiving, and this one, it's the mood matrix.
What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launchpad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there, so there was nowhere for the killer to run to.
Maybe or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door?
I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her.
And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
Ugh.
It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him!
Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory.
Yeah, Bushi, Athena has got a very has a very acute sense of hearing. Go to the sixth statement. Sadness. Why is he sad? Oh, the sixth statement. Why is he sad?
Got it!
That's unexpected.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door.
The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And on what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem to be quite distressed by it.
I'm most certainly not.
Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there?
Wow, he's speechless. It looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those two pieces of data, and... yes! Just what I wanted to see. Presto changeo! Let's Discord! Discord, I'm howling at the moon. Looks like we're on the right track.
Thanks, Athena. Now to make some sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the Launchpad 1 door. When we put these two pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here?
The Launchpad 1 corridor.
Take that!
The culprit went through the Launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes. I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid!
A master tactician, you are not.
But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it?
True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the Launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies.
That door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you?
That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on that fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock.
Solomon Starbuck.
Take that!
That's...
Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anyone could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. It looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet.
You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it?
Huh? Yes, by all means.
There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1.
Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor?
If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then they might be recorded in the security footage as well. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of it? Think of my logic. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There was no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea, too. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery. It doesn't mean you should try to show off too much, Grandpa Baldness. Prosecutor Blackquill, how did you know about my grandchild?
I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world.
Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge?
If I must.
Go to the forged statement.
Oop.
Oh, info update.
But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door.
Keep going.
And then the detective shot at me.
Pinpoint a surprise.
Got it!
Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you? And again, when she fired? Well, I think anyone would be shocked if someone got shot at. Isn't that a bit unnatural?
Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion.
Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by.
Pardon me?
First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reactions? In fact, you were...
More surprised when Arm came.
Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were no more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there.
The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk.
Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Nope.
We're getting closer. Boss, I'm getting less Discord now. That must mean... He really is hiding something about that launch pad door.
And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape.
I wonder what it could be.
If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after.
Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is the footage of the door before the director's Cosmos arrived. And this is the door locked after the directors entered the lounge. Ah, the knob! I see it!
Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos.
What is it? What have you two been up to over there?
Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you. That's what. And the answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation.
Don't be ridiculous! If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already.
He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident.
The knob on the very far left.
Take that!
The answer is this knob.
That's...
Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Though it looks more like a switch than a knob.
It's probably a security switch.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Take a look at the knob. Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
And what does that mean?
It means that someone before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Fine. I admit it. You're right, I did turn that knob. The knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions. So I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what?
Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for the launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock on the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first.
I guess that clears up what that knob is for.
Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch pad one corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site?
I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor.
So then, where did the killer escape to?
I guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail.
Fine. But listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony.
Why are you happy about that? If you're reluctant but you're happy, why? Pinpoint the happiness.
I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself.
How did you do that? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of the analytical psychology.
So care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts that we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
Oh, hey, King Xanadu, how are you?
How do you know about that too?
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing.
But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there!
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence!
You, a man of integrity? Don't make me laugh.
Prosecutor Blackquill came over him all of a sudden.
You've spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor. Liar!
His words bite harder than his blade. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You failed to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you, immediately following the bombing. Launchpad 1 was on boarding lounge 1. On the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? Liar! He's still up about that?
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad?
Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. Liar!
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out? Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy?
Talk about hitting below the belt.
You're not helping. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ugh. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident, and then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot? All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it.
His hair! You made him sound like Mr. Starbuck.
Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you, however. Our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when our astral wanderers made their escape. A fact that has been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Oh, right. So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy.
Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus! We know the launch pad must have been moved.
But our deductions and actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other.
Well, maybe there are two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be a fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me.
Never actually boarded the rocket. Hey, wait a minute! Maybe, just maybe...
Huh?
Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went to another place? And what if the director moved Launch Pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull, or I'll cut you.
Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It's all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was...
to switch it to another place.
because he wanted to switch it with some other place.
I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with?
Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1.
Space Museum.
Take that!
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum.
In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. But it has all the same features as Launchpad 1, and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other.
You can't mean...
The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum.
What? Balderdash!
And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 in the
I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places.
That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from Boarding Lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket.
Come to think of it, the door to Space Museum from Boarding Lounge 2...
Welcome! This Space Museum is open for the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There's no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted that bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into Boarding Lounge 1 and waited there, concealed, in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackquill, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw the suspicious figure, who, we can suppose after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum.
Aha!
The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway.
Right, Dodo. I see you know how to handle a sword, and handle it well.
Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
Silence!
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword.
That's right! You have no proof I switched the launch pads!
Somebody needs a better anger management counselor.
If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere.
At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other.
So the corridor beyond the doors should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see. This is the image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Do you see anything different when compared to the security footage?
Huh? That number on the floor. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackquill.
And if this is just another bluff?
Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum.
Very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves the corridor belongs to the Space Museum?
The two behind the elbow. There's a two.
Take that!
there's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see in this one is the one to the Space Museum!
And so that means the corridor in the footage was not filled with smoke.
That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the side opposite of the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran carrying Mr. Starbuck simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level.
Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude.
Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface.
Bingo!
Finally! Finally, this jag-off is starting to annoy me.
Yeah, right?
Though he has fun to voice.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth.
My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy the ultimate weapon, galactic ignition. What? It's gone haywire. Jane, stop this crazy thing. My stars, my glory.
Oh, not that way! Oh, for fuck's sake!
Okay, that is the best breakdown, period.
Bailiff, on your steed after that witness.
What the fuck?
I just found my favorite breakdown.
Good
I
lord.
just found it. That was amazing. Holy shit.
I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm.
Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads?
I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. It's good to hear words I can believe for a change.
Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. And as for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a drastic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why.
Probably not a good time to try and pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get?
Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck!
Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again?
Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive?
Silence!
You're not going into space, Starbuck. But prison. I won't have it any other way.
You've so hung up on him.
Yes, I accept the launch pads really were switched. And if there was a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I've yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
That's a good point.
He's right. I don't have any proof. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What?
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
If I'm going to die, I want to die in space.
I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck. Prepare yourself.
Fulbright.
No. You know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than...
And where were you?
Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust.
Detective Fulbright!
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late.
I don't believe we had an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats, or... Why are you here again?
Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright.
I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed?
Nope. But it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding some evidence. Only for him to now just tell us.
Thanks, you two. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
And you just shut up about it now? I didn't think he was serious, though.
So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent?
It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this?
A lighter?
A lighter. That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. And it has the victim Clay Terran's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it.
What?
Again, you're just now telling us this?
Well, he had his reasons why he was late.
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, I can assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant. You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent.
This is it. This is just what I needed. Oh, controller cut out. I'm not surprised. This has been going on a while.
We're almost done.
I know.
Thanks.
Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where the slider was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Tarrant, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left through boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. A fact that Director Cosmos had testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence!
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he have not dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit.
This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claim.
As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer of the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
No, there must be some mistake.
Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence!
Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that.
Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime, a few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty.
That still doesn't explain who killed Clay. I mean, good for Starbuck, but
Well,
it's like
this wasn't-
not really. It's like nothing worth celebrating, guys.
well, someone got found innocent.
Yeah, but yes, we did it, Mr. Wright, and I understand the reference to the whole tomorrow thing. I get it.
Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me, too. You're all the best.
Oh, I wish you could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now.
Yeah, me too. But that's going to have to wait.
Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
I'm
Objection!
still mixed about all that.
It's too late to object, isn't it?
It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
See, that's what I said.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter?
Huh? The results?
Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and well...
Get on with it!
I kinda got carried away when I heard the prince weren't Mr. Starbuck, so...
You have yet to read it? Prosecutor Blackquill, can you read it out who the prince belonged to?
Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena Sykes.
What?
So says the report.
What? What? Huh?
Order, I say! Order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that the slider could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got there, but I know I'm not the culprit!
This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. How can it lead to this?
What have I done? Please forgive me, I'm sorry!
Yeah, what have you done?
Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad.
Order! Order! I will have order!
Nope, you ain't getting it. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness.
And that's the end of the case. And now we move to the final episode, Turnabout for Tomorrow.
Yep.
Holy shit!
But that will come in 2 weeks.
Yes, because from August 9th to the 16th, I will be in New Jersey for the beach.
So sorry folks, unless you look it up yourself, you're just gonna have to speculate what's going on.
And trust me guys, stay tuned for this final case, because, whoo boy, you thought Trials and Tribulations was crazy? You thought Apollo Justice's final case was nuts? You're not ready for this one.
I have to concur.
You are not ready for this.
Now I have to go and rest my vocal cords.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Considering that case was 90% me. In fact,
Right.
I think Athena was the only female.
Yep, she was.
Good
And
lord.
Ponko. And Ponko.
Oh yeah, Ponko the robot.
Yeah. But guys, please stay tuned for the very final case because you ain't seen nothing yet. This is only the beginning.
But of course, remember, we're streaming tomorrow as well to make up for no stream next week.
Yes.
So tune in tomorrow for the premiere of the first game in the HD universe and my personal favorite in the series, Grand Theft Auto 4. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.